These are real moments where disaster struck in the blink of an eye, from reckless decisions and near-miss collisions to unbelievable strokes of luck. Every clip is a wake-up call. Don't be the next idiot behind the wheel. Watch, learn, and drive safe. Driving fast on a racetrack is no easy feat, and this poor Mini Cooper SF56 proved it in the worst possible way. A car went out of control and slammed into the guardrails on both sides of the road multiple times. A car accidentally pressed the accelerator instead of the brake and crashed into the back of the car in front. A sudden cut-in from another vehicle caused the truck to tip over a reckless move with heavy consequences. This is the terrifying moment a truck driver risked his life as his vehicle slid along the edge of a two-way bridge barrier. The impact was brutal. A speeding car veered off course and crashed into the concrete median. Always drive within control, especially in tight lanes. A homemade farm vehicle suddenly lost control and crashed straight into a home's gate, leaving residents in shock. Stay alert, especially around big rigs. The collision was intense metal, met concrete, and smoke filled the air. Drive cautiously near fuel zones where danger multiplies fast. Misjudgment on a clear road, the car struck a stationary vehicle and flipped. Street awareness is just as vital as steering. A car was crossing the road when it was hit by another car traveling at high speed. As the small truck climbed the slope, a rogue wheel rolled in from the opposite side, causing a minor but surprising collision. Even loose parts can create real danger. A car suddenly sped over the tram tracks. Footage from a rear-facing dash cam shows a lorry crashing into another truck before coming to A small car pulled into an intersection without looking and was struck by an oncoming truck. A small car pulled into an intersection without looking and was struck by an oncoming truck. On May 31st, the management board of the Noi Bai, Lao Cai Expressway reported that the accident occurred at 2:00 p.m. on May 30th at the IC9 toll station on the Noi Bai, Lao Cai Expressway located in Phu Tho Town, Phu Tho Province. The car veered off the road and tumbled straight into a rice field, a terrifying moment that could have ended in disaster. The car cut across the road unaware of the speeding truck and paid the price. Never assume the road is clear. Intending to back up slowly, the driver jolted forward in reverse right into someone's living room. Always double check your feet before you move. A car suddenly crossed the road without checking, leading to a direct collision with another vehicle in motion. Come with risk. A moment of inattention turned into impact. The car was struck by another vehicle while the driver failed to stay alert. Lasting consequences. The woman was walking on the road but not within the designated pedestrian crossing, which may have been a factor contributing to the accident or a dangerous situation. The clip captures the moment a Dodge car lightly tapped a Porsche 911 sports car that was making a U-turn. Shortly after, the Dodge lost control, crashed into the median, and flipped over. The accident recently occurred on Union Boulevard in Colorado Springs, Colorado, USA. A careless maneuver led to chaos. The impact sent a car spinning into another. A perfect example of how one mistake can affect many.
Yes, you are that.
A small car entered an intersection without checking and slammed into a passing truck, a painful lesson in carelessness. An aggressive move by a passenger bus nearly causes a collision as it squeezes past another vehicle in motion. Too fast or too heavy, the truck tilted dangerously while cornering, showing how balance and load matter on every turn. The heavy truck failed to slow down in time, crushing the line of traffic ahead. Brake early, especially when distance is tight. Trying to squeeze through a narrow gap, the Toyota SUV miscalculated and failed, turning a shortcut into a crash course. Caught on security camera, a speeding semi-truck lost control at a curve, narrowly missing an oncoming taxi before crashing straight. Despite the blaring horns from nearby vehicles, the driver failed to notice the impending danger, and the crash was inevitable. Warning signs are useless if ignored. Changing lanes at the last second on a highway is like playing roulette with traffic, and this Mazda CX-5 driver rolled the dice badly. What began as a high-speed thrill ended with shattered concrete. The Lamborghini tore through the road divider like paper. A man got out of the car but forgot to put it in park, and the car started moving on its own. The photo shows a serious traffic accident involving a silver car that crashed into the roadside barrier and appears to also involve a large truck. The ground gave way beneath a public works truck in Maharashtra. A shocking sinkhole incident caught near city central. Always stay alert near roadwork zones. A truck suddenly lost control and crashed into a roadside pole with a loud thud. Mid-road. Know your controls before you shift gears. A dangerous pass gone wrong, the truck lost balance and flipped down the slope. One wrong judgment can tip the scales toward disaster. Foot slips, engine roars, the car surged into the gas pump. This near disaster reminds us how critical focus is behind the wheel. A simple parking attempt turned chaotic when the driver hit the gas instead of the brake, crashing straight into a beauty salon. Always double-check your pedals. Though it happened in 2020, the footage of this truck overturning reminds us that even a split-second mistake on highways can lead to chaos. Seemingly unaware that his truck was carrying a two-tier load, the driver ignored height restriction signs and proceeded under a bridge, resulting in the upper-level vehicle striking the structure. The first hit on the traffic light could have been a mistake, the next two just showed carelessness. These structures guide traffic, not entertain crashes. The truck collided with a turning car, then lost control and flipped after crashing into a residential fence. Thankfully, no injuries, but the damage tells another story. Caught in motion, a truck lost control on the road and overturned suddenly, no warning, just impact. Heavy vehicles demand steady hands at every turn.
So I went horse hunting.
A 17-year-old male driving an SUV westbound suddenly veered across the center line and collided head-on with an oncoming vehicle. Footage from a rear-facing dashcam shows a lorry crashing into another truck before coming to a complete stop on the northbound M6 near the Knutsford stretch in Cheshire between junctions 18 and 19. A truck suddenly lost control and crashed into a roadside pole with a loud thud. Out of nowhere, the car swerved and slammed into a vehicle quietly parked by the curb. The website CarScoop has just published footage of a shocking crash that took place on March 26th on a road in Connecticut, USA. The accident involved a BMW 4 Series reportedly after a reckless race with a white BMW 5 Series. What began as a high-speed thrill ended with shattered concrete. The Lamborghini tore through the road divider like paper. While descending a slope, the truck lost control and flipped over in a terrifying moment caught on camera. A concrete mixer truck traveling at high speed ran a red light and abruptly swerved to avoid hitting a car, resulting in the truck overturning and landing on an electric bicycle across the road. A moment of inattention turned into impact. The car was struck by another vehicle while the driver failed to stay alert. Changing lanes at the last second on a highway is like playing roulette with traffic, and this Mazda CX-5 driver rolled the dice badly. No matter how well equipped a car is in terms of safety, a side impact collision can still have extremely severe consequences, especially at high speeds. This video is a clear example. Three women were pursued by police and ultimately apprehended on charges of public indecency, resisting arrest, and assaulting law enforcement officers. Out of nowhere, the car veered off and smashed straight through a wall, a terrifying moment of lost control. terrifying crossover crash. The out-of-control container truck tore through the median and collided violently with another, turning the highway into a parking lot for hours. The incident took place in China, but it serves as a universal lesson for all drivers on how to handle vehicle breakdowns on the highway. The truck spiraled out of control, and the driver with the dash cam showed just how a second of awareness can make all the difference. On a highway in Slovenia, surveillance footage captured the chilling moment a speeding car lost control and slammed into a parallel tanker, sending the massive truck plummeting 20 meters off an overpass. For reasons unclear, the driver of the passenger vehicle suddenly accelerated and swerved in front of a truck in the same lane, seemingly in an act of retaliation. The truck driver was forced to make a sudden evasive maneuver, resulting in the truck overturning. Seemingly unaware that his truck was carrying a two-tier load, the driver ignored height restriction signs and proceeded under a bridge, resulting in the upper-level vehicle striking the structure and being ripped off and destroyed. A passenger bus lost control mid-turn and veered off the road straight into a field, an alarming turn of events. Immediately following the incident, emergency services promptly arrived at the scene to conduct an investigation into the cause of the crash and to direct traffic. Heavy traffic and low visibility may have contributed to the chain reaction crash in Baria, Vung Tau, that shocked many commuters. The race spiraled into chaos as 22 participants got caught in a massive pileup. Rolling slowly on the street, the black Ford Explorer seemed harmless until the unexpected happened, all captured by a home security camera. A car suddenly crossed the road without checking, leading to a direct collision with another vehicle in motion. The car veered off the road and tumbled straight into a rice field, a terrifying moment that could have ended in disaster. The moment a family vehicle lost control and mounted the curb, crashing into thick greenery. When the container truck braked hard at a red light, tons of steel plates surged forward with brutal force, slicing through the cabin like a blade. Caught on security camera, a speeding semi-truck lost control at a curve, narrowly missing an oncoming taxi before crashing straight into a roadside house. A moment's distraction nearly led to disaster. The mixer truck veered suddenly to avoid slamming into the traffic jam ahead. Traveling at high speed, the tanker truck driver was forced to swerve left to avoid a crash when a passenger car suddenly changed lanes. A homemade farm vehicle suddenly lost control and crashed straight into a home's gate, leaving residents in shock.